About a year ago, I wanted to start a small online coffee business, but I had no money to hire all the people I need to run it. What I didn't realize though, it was that over the next 12 months, AI would become good enough to act as my first team, at least until I could afford a real one. So today I'm going to introduce you to the 4 AI tools I would hire first if I were launching that same business in 2026, along with the roles I assigned to each. And no worries, ChatGPT and Claude didn't get the job this time. Hello and welcome to Mailtrap videos, where we explore the world of emails. One important thing before we begin. The goal of this video isn't to show you how you can replace every employee with AI, because we all know how that goes. Instead, the goal is to find AI tools that take repetitive work off your plate so you can focus on growing your business. With that clear up, let's jump right into our list. The first seat we need to fill, the knowledge manager. Every business, big or small, starts with just a few documents. A supplier contract here, a customer email there, and plenty of meeting notes all around. Over time, all of that information starts piling up. So eventually, instead of asking, what did that supplier say about shipping delays? You start asking, where did I save that PDF again? This problem is exactly what a knowledge manager is meant to solve. They keep track of all of the information your business generates and make sure it is organized in a way that helps you find answers quickly. And when it comes to tool options that can fit this role, NotebookLM is pretty hard to beat. You can think of NotebookLM as your company's second brain. Unlike traditional document management systems, which store information in folders, NotebookLM stores information in context. This means you can upload your invoices, SOPs, contracts, meeting notes, customer emails, and product documentation, and then simply ask it questions in plain English or in plain Spanish, si puedes hablar alguna palabra en español. The way NotebookLM works is pretty simple. The more relevant information you give it, be it meeting notes, customer emails, supplier reports, or internal documentation, the better it understands your company, your customers, and your day-to-day operations. You can provide that information by uploading documents directly, adding websites, connecting Google Drive, pasting text, or even letting NotebookLM search the web for additional context. Whichever method you choose, within a few minutes, the tool brings it all together into a single searchable knowledge base. The real magic, however, happens when you start asking questions. But before we get into that, a quick reminder to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos covering all things AI. I begin with something simple. Tell me about Bean and Bloom. Just for the record, future me is still considering this business idea, so let's all agree not to steal the name. Thank you very much. Rather than summarizing a single document, NotebookLM combines information from multiple sources, explaining what the company does, how it is structured, its current priorities, and the challenges it's facing. That's information that usually takes at least half an hour of digging through folders to find. Of course, it can get much smarter than that. For example, as a follow-up, I asked, who is our primary supplier? And voila, NotebookLM immediately identified Port or Road Supply and even highlighted that the relationship is currently under review because of recent logistic issues. The same goes for operational questions. When I asked why customer complaints about deliveries had increased, NotebookLM pulled information from multiple documents, identified the root cause, and even surfaced the compensation strategy currently being used with customers. In other words, it didn't just retrieve information, it understood how different pieces of information relate to one another. Now, I know what you're thinking. What good is all that information if it stays within the chat interface? Well, the good news is that NotebookLM can also help turn all of its knowledge into useful business documents. So for example, if you want a quick overview of your business current challenges and the most logical next steps, you can just prompt the tool and it will generate one in seconds. And to top it all off, it will also give you the option to continue editing the generated doc directly in NotebookLM or export to Google. Where was NotebookLM when I was writing reports at 2 a.m.? With our knowledge manager in place, it's time to hire someone to watch the market. Someone like a competitive intelligence analyst. You see, knowing what's happening inside your business is important, but knowing what's happening outside of it, it can be just as crucial. Whether it's a competitor lowering prices, launching a new product, changing their messaging, or quietly updating their website, all of these small changes can tell you a lot about where the market is heading. The only problem is that nobody has time to keep track of every competitor every day. Well, with Browse AI, you don't really have to. Instead of constantly visiting competitor websites, Browse AI lets you train a robot to monitor them for you. And just like an intelligence analyst, the robot then continuously collects competitive insights your business needs to stay informed. To set it up, you simply paste the URL of a competitor page, and then, using the built-in point-and-click interface, select the information you want to monitor. During the process of setting up the robot, Browse AI will record every action you take. This way, when your robot is trained, it knows exactly what information to look for each time it visits a page. To make things even more customized, Browse AI also lets you decide how often your robot should run, what day it should check the website, and whether you want to receive an email whenever it detects a change. From that point on, the robot monitors the page in the background, removing the need for manual checking and notifying you only when something actually changes. Great! Now I can spend my mornings drinking coffee rather than checking if my competitor raised the prices of his. That's the life. Now, our next hire might not be flashy, but it still stands at the core of every business. Say hello to the operations manager. Checking reviews, replying to customers, updating your team, creating follow-up tasks. Individually, none of these tasks take very long, but together they can easily eat up hours of your week. And don't get me started on the lack of time small business owners have to deal with. Established business usually mitigate the issue by hiring an operations manager. But since you likely don't have their budget, your next best bet is NAN. At its core, NAN is a workflow automation platform, one we cover in depth in our dedicated tutorial linked below. It connects the tools your business already uses, allowing information to flow automatically from one step to the next. For example, let's imagine a customer just left a new review on your business. The moment that review appears in a Google Sheet, NAN can automatically start a workflow. First, it passes the review to an AI agent that analyzes the customer's feedback. The agent then identifies the customer's sentiment, the main issues they experience, how urgent the situation is, and even comes up with the best course of action. From there, NAN also takes care of the follow-up. The workflow automatically sends the incident summary to the team's Slack channel, making sure everybody knows what happened. At the same time, it creates a ready-to-send apology email inside Gmail, which customer support only needs to review before hitting send. As an end result, you get the entire customer support workflow, which runs automatically and takes just a few seconds, allowing you to use the saved time to finally take that lunch break you've been postponing since Tuesday. Tacos, anyone? With the rest of the business running smoothly, there's just one role left to close. And this is my favorite, the role of the email marketing manager. After years in the industry, if I can tell you something for sure, is that marketing your business is not as simple as just coming up with creative ideas. Someone still has to turn those ideas into emails you can actually send. Stripo, while not a replacement for your creative marketing team, can still handle much of the heavy lifting that comes with this job. Here's how it works. After receiving your prompt, Stripo first maps out the overall email campaign, giving you the opportunity to review, edit, reorder, or expand the sequence before a single email is generated. Once you settle on a direction, Stripo then starts building the email itself. Hero section, product highlights, calls to action, social links, even placeholders for your products and images. Everything is organized into editable content blocks that you can rearrange, duplicate, delete, or even enhance with AI as much as you need to. Then comes the visual design. Based on the campaign you've approved, Stripo automatically generates a complete email. Here you can customize virtually everything from the content and styling to the underlying HTML. And if you already created a brand theme in Stripo, during the step you can also apply that theme in a single click and instantly update the entire design. Once you're happy with the result, Stripo gives you several export options, whether that's downloading the HTML, exporting a file, or sending it directly to one of its supported integrations. If you're using a paid Stripo plan, you can even export the campaign straight to your email platform. Otherwise, simply copying the generated HTML and pasting it into Mailtrap worked just as well. Inside Mailtrap, the imported HTML stays a fully editable email, allowing you to fine-tune the content, preview the final result, test dynamic data, and choose your audience. After that, all that's left is to hit send or schedule the campaign for later if you're feeling patient. Just try not to check the analytics before the email has actually been delivered. Why is no one opening my email? Oh, wait. So there you have it. In about 20 minutes, you've turned hours of repetitive work into a handful of AI-powered workflows. That means less time searching for information, monitoring competitors, handling admin, and building campaigns, and more time making smarter business decisions. Not bad for a company that started with nothing but a cool idea. Now that your AI team is up and running, it's time to put those tools into action. And in our video linked on the screen, we'll show you how AI can help with every stage of your email strategy, from planning and writing to analytics and optimization. So make sure to click that card and I'll see you there.